Tell me when you're ready.
Let's go.
Hi, this is Kevin Kraut, Ogden Kraut's son. Ogden Kraut wrote several different books on early fundamentalist principles. And this is his first book that he ever wrote. It was called Jesus Was Married. Now it's an interesting story behind this because at the time there was a bunch of students at BYU that were studying through scholarly things, and they came up with a question: was Jesus married? And of course, back in the early Mormonism days, they had taught this doctrine that Jesus was married. And so there got to be kind of a little controversy going back and forth at BYU, and one of the professors there asked my father, would you write something up on this since you know a lot about it? And so Dad wrote a little pamphlet. It was actually smaller than this. And he sent the pamphlet over there, and he printed up 500 of them. And then when he drove back home, which is about 2 hours away back to Dugway, he got a call, and the professor says, gosh, we need another 500 of them. We're sold out. And he says, you're sold out? All 500? So he printed 1,000 this time, and of course took him a week or two to get those sold out. And I actually met somebody who was during that time that was really studying this really deep. It's a very controversial subject. The one thing that's about this is that in here on page 27 he says, the first principle, ordinance, and commandment given to man was the marriage law. It would indeed seem very peculiar that the Lord of all mankind would be a perfect example in all things except marriage. Historical records, scriptural evidence, and reason all prove that he was the good shepherd in obeying every law of the gospel, including marriage. And just recently we have discovered there was a Da Vinci Code that came out. There was a whole lot of stuff about Jesus being married there for a long time. And now we just have a new scroll that came out, mentions his wife. So there must have been more information that has been bringing that to light. So once again, Jesus was married. It's a very interesting book. Basically it proves that when they called him rabbi, in that day a rabbi had to have been married. He had to have more than one wife. So he was actually a polygamist according to some people's codes. And this goes back to early Mormonism, early fundamentalism of the Mormon culture and what we had taught in that day. Very interesting book. Jesus Was Married.